evening and welcome to episode 48 of Loomer Unleashed. I'm your host, Laura Loomer. Yesterday, the prosecution rested in the corrupt hush money trial against President Donald Trump, which has been ongoing for the past 5 weeks. This court case, under a jurisdiction of a compromised judge named Juan Merchan, who was personally exposed by me as having deep family connections to multiple Democrat campaigns and Joe Biden via his daughter's Democrat political consulting firm, Authentic Campaigns, has proven to be nothing more than an absurd kangaroo court. While there is much to be said about the judge and the proceedings in this case, tonight on Loomer Unleashed, I will be honing in on Michael Cohen, the prosecution's star witness. Over the course of this trial, Michael Cohen has not only admitted to lying under oath to Congress and multiple courts, but he also confessed to a serious felony, which he will apparently just get away with in exchange for testifying against Trump in the first place. Cohen has always been a slimy, sleazy liar, but he has now revealed himself to be one of the lowest, most deplorable human beings that I've ever seen in my life. For those of you who aren't familiar with Michael Cohen, he worked as President Trump's personal lawyer for 12 years. If you know anything about personal lawyers, then you know that they are privy to extremely confidential information. This means that you must be able to trust them. And evidently, President Trump trusted Michael Cohen at one point, probably far too much. This was until 2018, of course, when Michael Cohen found himself in some hot water over campaign finance violations and tax fraud. At that point, Michael Cohen decided to try to drag Trump down with him, claiming that the president had personally instructed him to violate the law to influence the election. This opened a Pandora's box of lawsuits, mudslinging and outright defamation from the Cohen camp against President Trump, much of which is still ongoing to this day, as we're seeing right now in this trial. In fact, this current court case is a direct fallout from statements that Michael Cohen has made regarding the silly and salacious Stormy Daniels story. It would seem as though Michael Cohen has been doing everything in his power to bring President Donald Trump down into the gutter with him ever since being fired 6 years ago. Over the course of this recent trial, we have also gotten a glimpse into Michael Cohen's insatiable lust for power. It now appears that he desperately wanted a position in the White House, and he's furious that Donald Trump never offered him one back in 2016. Another lawyer testifying on the stand claims that Michael Cohen once said, "Can you effing believe I'm not going to Washington after everything I've done for that guy? I can't believe I'm not going to Washington. I've saved his ass." This flies directly in the face of Michael Cohen's own testimony before the House Oversight Committee back in 2019, where he claimed, quote, "I did not want to go to the White House. I was offered jobs." Clearly, Michael Cohen committed perjury by lying under oath to Congress. Worse, it seems that Michael Cohen was scorned and disgruntled by being passed over by Donald Trump. This implies that he is not on some noble justice-seeking campaign against his former boss. Rather, Michael Cohen is a vindictive weasel seeking revenge, okay? Michael Cohen's story only continued to unravel from there this last week. As the trial continued in New York City, Michael Cohen revealed that he actually stole $60,000 from President Trump and the Trump Organization. He literally admitted to committing fraud and embezzlement in court. For the record, this is a far greater crime than what President Trump is being accused of in the first place. This is prima facie evidence that this entire charade is a politically motivated prosecution and has absolutely nothing to do with justice. The reality is that Michael Cohen should be the one on trial here, not Donald Trump. If Cohen were to be charged and found guilty for stealing $60,000 from Donald Trump, he would be looking at up to 15 years in prison, but he's not. Instead, he's a key witness in attempting to put Donald Trump, the president of the United States, a man that over 74 million people voted for only 4 short years ago, behind bars. This trial, along with the other phony court cases against Trump, represents the worst of America. It is a testament to just how far the Justice Department, the government, and this country at large have fallen. The system is designed to keep us under control and to harshly punish us for stepping 1 foot out of line. Donald Trump went against that system. He upset the fragile balance, the facade of credibility that the deep state props up. And now the system is trying to exact its revenge against him and his supporters. And yet, what is right and what is just is staring us in the face. Michael Cohen should be the one on trial. He should be in jail, along with dozens of these anti-Trump agents, deep state political operatives, and treasonous traitors. You see, sensible Americans know and they understand this. And they're going to make their voices heard this November when they flood to the ballot boxes all across the country and overwhelmingly vote for Donald Trump this November. And when he gets back into the White House, he will be our retribution against the corrupt system and the Department of Injustice that is tearing our country apart.
There is a young female journalist, conservative journalist, by the name of Laura Loomer.
If America's men acted like Laura Loomer, our problems would be fixed in about 5 minutes.
Chained herself to
She
Twitter.
chained herself.
Good evening, and thank you to everybody who's tuning in to episode 48 of Loomer Unleashed. I'm your host, Laura Loomer. It's a very special episode today. Thank you so much to all of you who sent me some lovely birthday messages today. It's been a really great day. I'm celebrating my 31st birthday. So I got just so many nice messages from all of you on Twitter and through my email and on Telegram and all over the place. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you because I just was really touched today by all of the messages that I received. I even received a phone call from President Trump today, believe it or not. And that was very nice of him to send me a nice message and call me today because he was in court all day, as you know. And it's been a very busy day, a very chaotic day for President Trump in New York City with a trial. And then, you know, there's no court tomorrow because Judge Merchan takes Wednesdays off for mental health court. And then President Trump departed for Houston, Texas. So it was very, nice that President Trump decided to take some time out of his extremely busy schedule to, wish me a happy birthday. Some breaking news that happened today towards the end of President Trump's day in court. There were some new documents that have been released in the case related to the documents at Mar-a-Lago, the case involving Jack Smith and Judge Cannon in Florida. And this was reported earlier today by Julie Kelly. And you can see this breaking news report here. The FBI was authorized to use deadly force in the classified document search at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago, court filings reveal. So this is actually, proof that the Biden administration, the Biden DOJ, authorized an assassination attempt against President Donald Trump. Because why would you need to use lethal force against President Trump at Mar-a-Lago? His lawyers already said that they would comply with the raid and that it didn't need to go down this way, right? They did it as a way to ambush President Trump and his family, hoping they would be there. And we have this graphic as well. Let's pull up the screenshot of the actual court filing so that people can see it for themselves, because it's not salacious, it's not overblown. This is real. Here you go. This is from the actual court document. According to an operations order produced in discovery, the FBI believed its objective for the Mar-a-Lago raid was to seize classified information, NDI, and U.S. government records as described in the search warrant. The order contained a, quote, policy statement regarding, quote, use of deadly force, which stated, for example, quote, law enforcement officers of the Department of Justice may use deadly force when necessary. The agents plan to bring standard issued weapons and ammunition, handcuffs, and medium and large size bolt cutters. They were instructed to wear unmarked polo or collared shirts and to keep law enforcement equipment concealed. So again, this is a sitting United States president, and this is a guy who had the election stolen from him. And you have Joe Biden weaponizing his DOJ and the FBI saying, yeah, well, you can shoot Donald Trump and Melania Trump if necessary. I mean, this is just ridiculous. This is really scary, and it shows you that Joe Biden really is a threat to democracy, and that's exactly what President Trump posted today on True Social. If you take a look at his True Social, I think we have that post, right? Let's get that pulled up. We have the screenshot of President Trump's True Social post from today. Immediately after court, he posted we'll pull it up right here. Wow, I just came out of the Biden witch hunt trial in Manhattan, the icebox, and was shown reports that crooked Joe Biden's DOJ in their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago authorized the FBI to use deadly lethal force. Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He's mentally unfit to hold office. 25th Amendment. So, yeah, I mean, look, he's calling for the assassination of his political opponent, and that's exactly what it means to use deadly force. And so you have to ask yourself, why would they need to use deadly force against Donald Trump? As I reported too last year, and a lot of people attacked me for this and said, oh, you're just attacking Ron DeSantis. I actually said that Ron DeSantis had advanced knowledge of the raid on Mar-a-Lago, and information on that came out today as well. And I believe we have my old tweet that I posted too in 2023, in which I said that Ron DeSantis had advanced knowledge of the raid and did nothing about it. So that's all resurfacing today. But, this is some really serious breaking news here, right? With the FBI authorizing the use of deadly force in the classified document search at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago. Here we go. Here's my tweet from March 18th, 2023. And this, of course, was 2 days, of course, after I met with President Trump. So if you recall, I had a meeting with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago on March 16th. And that's, of course, when he hired me. And everybody knows how that whole thing played out. We don't need to rehash that. But I remember telling President Trump when I met with him at this meeting, I said, yeah, Ron DeSantis had advanced knowledge of this raid on Mar-a-Lago. And of course, I posted it 2 days later, too, as you see. And now it's all coming out. It's all coming out. Let's go to the chat really quick. By the way, we are live right now. So please be sure. I'll repost this link right now. Be sure that you're all, posting this link live, because we are live right now on Rumble and X. If you are watching on X, please be sure that you go to rumble.com. That's rumble.com /Laura Loomer, and subscribe. Really want you to subscribe to Rumble, and that's where you can get all my updates. You have to download the app and make sure that you turn your notifications on, and then you'll get a notification every single time I go live at 8 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday and Thursday. This Thursday, we're going to have Corey Lewandowski, President Trump's former campaign manager, who's going to be joining me on Loomer Unleashed. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a really exciting episode. And tonight, well, I think, any moment now, in the next 20 minutes, actually, at 8:45, Carrie Lake, who, of course, is a friend and also the GOP Senate candidate in Arizona on the Republican side, of course, she's going to be joining us at 8:45 Eastern. And then at 9:30 tonight, we're going to be joined by independent journalist Jason Goodman of Crowdsource the Truth, who just confronted Norm Eisen, who, of course, is one of the ringmasters of all this lawfare against President Trump. We've talked about him on the show before. He confronted him, actually, outside of President Trump's trial. So that's going to be really exciting. We're going to see that video. That video is going viral online right now. So let's see what people let's see what people are saying. Happy B-Day, Laura. Get you and the doggos each a cheeseburger. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. And then, let's see, Leventhal Spade, $10 super chat. Cohen is yet another example of the pieces of shit that Trump trusts way too much. He needs you to vet people he hires the next time around. Yeah, well, look, President Trump, hopefully he does hire me, and hopefully I'll be in the administration and I can help him vet, because I would love to help President Trump. We got to vet these people. But, yeah, it is really crazy. Let's see what some of the comments are. Scroll up. They said not to wear noticeable gear. That's so shady. Yep, exactly. Let's see what else. All the nice happy birthday messages. Thank you so much. Yeah, well, we're going to have Carrie Lake on. Also, another breaking news story while we're waiting for Carrie Lake to join. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has filed an ethics complaint against Judge Juan Merchan. So, this has been a long time coming, of course, and Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has cited my reporting, and, she's been reposting my reports about Juan Merchan, so that's also really exciting. Let's see, scroll down. You can see Elise Stefanik filed an ethics complaint Tuesday accusing the judge of presiding over former President Trump's New York hush money trial of a conflict of interest. Axios has learned why it matters. The letter is unlikely to have an immediate effect on the trial, but it's the latest chapter in Trump allies attempting to defend the president by lodging complaints against the judge and prosecutors involved in the case. Here's some sections from the letter. Quote, acting Judge Merchan is in clear violation of section 100.3 of the Rules of Judicial Conduct for the New York State Unified Court System, as his family has enriched itself through anti-Trump fundraising. Mentioning this case directly, Stefanik told Axios in a statement, a Trump acquittal would be detrimental to Democrats, including clients of Judge Merchan's daughter. I mean, we've talked about that on the show as well, too. Stefanik said in a letter to the New York State Commission on the Judicial Conduct requesting an investigation, if, on the other hand, Trump is convicted, such a verdict would provide a fundraising windfall for Democrat clients of Judge Merchan's daughter. I mean, look, it's true. So the Democrats are obviously hiring Judge Merchan's daughter because, they're hoping that Judge Merchan is going to convict Donald Trump. And then what they're hoping is going to happen is that this will then be used to energize Democrats in fundraising emails. And so if Judge Merchan's daughter has this political consulting firm and is doing all the digital consulting for these Democrats and is raising millions of dollars on anti-Trump pro-indictment emails, which is what, she's been doing for other clients like the Biden-Harris campaign, Adam Schiff, Cory Booker, and others, then there's not going to be any money for Judge Merchan's daughter or the Democrats if Donald Trump is acquitted from this case. And so clearly there is a lot of pressure on Judge Merchan to continue pursuing this case against Donald Trump, even though the cross-examination of Michael Cohen and Judge Merchan's treatment of Bob Costello and, just Michael Cohen's admissions of theft and perjury in court this week pretty much vindicates Donald Trump and his grounds for dismissal of this case. So they're going to be the, I guess Judge Merchan, you could say, will be persona non grata in the Democrat Party if he dismisses this case. And unfortunately now his whole family is tied into this because, well, his daughter runs Authentic Campaigns and the son-in-law works for Joe Biden's U.S. Census Bureau. Who's to say, I mean, I'm not saying this is happening, but who's to say that the son-in-law isn't using the data from the Census Bureau and giving it to his wife, who could potentially be using that data to reach out to voters and potentially even illegal aliens. I mean, we see that the Democrats clearly want to register illegal aliens. They've been talking about it. In Colorado, you had Jenna Griswold, she ended up sending out requests for ballots to illegal aliens. In California and New York, of course, is where this trial is taking place, the Democrats are trying to create legislation to get illegal aliens registered to vote. So I don't really think that it's implausible to, suggest or wonder whether or not, perhaps they could be sharing data. I think that James Comer and, the House Oversight Committee, they need to immediately call for an investigation into Authentic Campaigns, and they need to subpoena Lauren Merchan and her associates from Authentic Campaigns, because as I reported this week, I broke a story. The checks from New York Democrats and New Jersey Democrats like Representative Dan Goldman and Representative Mickey Sherrill are going to the personal home address of Lauren Merchan. If you cross-reference the section, the Schedule B forms on the FEC site, you will see that the address listed for the payments where the checks are being sent is an address in Richmond, Virginia. When you search that address, the address pops up as the personal home residence for Lauren Merchan and her husband, Taylor Harper, who live in Richmond, Virginia. If you're a firm and you're raising hundreds of millions of dollars for Democrats, why are you having money sent directly to your home? Why not have the money sent to your office in Chicago, which is where the headquarter office for Authentic Campaigns is located, and have a CPA or some kind of a accountant fill out these forms, right? So, well, my phone's going off. Everybody's calling me, wishing me a happy birthday, but can't talk right now because we're live on air. So, you know, it's really good that Congresswoman Stefanik decided to file this complaint against Judge Merchan. It says the New York court system did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The big picture is Elise Stefanik is a close Trump ally and one of his most vocal defenders in Congress. She has filed 5 formal complaints against the judges and prosecutors involved in cases against Donald Trump. Those include complaints to the New York Commission on Judicial Conduct and the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit, the New York Bar Association, and the DOJ's Office of Professional Responsibility. You can scroll up. Scroll down some more. In November of last year, Stefanik previously filed an ethics complaint against Judge Arthur Engoron, another judge who I exposed. Remember, I exposed his wife. More conflicts of interest, and President Trump, of course, shared those reports as well. Remember Judge Engoron's wife posting photos and memes of Donald Trump in jail outfits and, behind jail bars and making fun of Donald Trump going to jail. Well, of course, that blew up as well in the media. And we actually tried calling Judge Merchan's number live on the show, if you recall. I don't know. Do we still have that clip? I think we still may have that clip somewhere. We could find it. We actually called Judge Merchan, and President Trump shared the clip on True Social. And we called Judge Merchan to ask him about this. And of course, he didn't answer. He didn't answer the phone because none of these people answer. And the complaint against Engoron that was filed by Elise Stefanik accused him of weaponized lawfare. So we found it. Let's play the clip because we do have the clip of me calling Judge Engoron on the show. And, you can see we've been documenting this more so than anybody else. I'd say that, myself and my team here at Loomer Unleashed, we have been ahead of the curve in terms of exposing all of the lawfare against President Trump and all of, just the shady, corrupt political actors who are abusing our justice system to get Trump. So let's go ahead and play the clip. Hi, Judge Engoron, Laura Loomer here again. I called you on Tuesday evening, inviting you onto my show, Loomer Unleashed. We are live again on Loomer Unleashed right now. You can watch it yourself on Rumble, but I think you already are because as I exposed this last week, your wife, Dawn Marie Engoron, was making very nasty derogatory comments about President Trump during the trial that you're supposed to be overseeing. And as you know, Judge Engoron, it is a violation of the New York State Code of Conduct for judges to be engaged in partisan behavior. It's also a violation for their family members to be doing the same. And I think a lot of people have some questions about why your son, Ian, has been given access to the courtroom and why your wife is making these very derogatory messages, posting things like fuck Trump and Trump's going to go to jail. And I just want to know if you, are telling her these things at night, a little bit of pillow talk. I don't know. How does your wife know this? Are you compromising this trial by telling your wife that you've already decided the fate of President Trump and his family and his organization before this is over? We would like to ask you, and so I'm inviting you once again. I called you live on Tuesday. I'm going to ask you again tonight to please come on Loomer Unleashed and answer these questions. So got your number online from your Wheatley School Alumni Association newsletter. Would love to know about your pool party with Tish James as well. So feel free to give me a call back on this number so we can get you on the show. Okay? Talk soon. Bye-bye. So he never called me back, as you can imagine. But, these people never really call back. So I wasn't really expecting much from him. But again, look, all these judges are corrupt. All of these people in New York are corrupt, whether it's Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, Judge Engoron. Let's see, who else? Michael Cohen, Judge Merchan, Lauren Merchan. All of these people need to be exposed. And again, the question is, why hasn't the Oversight Committee subpoenaed Lauren Merchan? I don't understand how this hasn't happened when congressional Democrats in New York and New Jersey have now been exposed for sending hundreds of thousands of dollars to Lauren Mershon's home, including Cory Booker. We had a report actually up on the site. We could pull it up, actually. Let's pull up the report from Loomer.com about Cory Booker. We have this report. Just type in Cory Booker right there. So today, our Loomer Unleashed DC correspondent, Charles Downs, who's wonderful, of course, he confronted Cory Booker, United States Senator from New Jersey, and he asked him about whether or not Lauren Mershon, who he's employed, the daughter of Judge Mershon, is writing his tweets, because we found a tweet, as I exposed, that shows that Cory Booker, the day that President Trump had this indictment filed against him by Alvin Bragg, tweeted that, no one's above the law, and was basically tweeting in support of this indictment. Well, if you look at the FEC records, at the time of the tweet, Cory Booker had hired Lauren Mershon to do his digital consulting. And as we know from her website, Authentic Campaigns, their full-service firm and digital consulting often includes social media management. So you can scroll down in this the story. New Jersey Democrat Senator Cory Booker, scroll up, ran scared in the halls of the United States Senate on Tuesday after we asked him if Judge Mershon's daughter's firm, Authentic Campaigns, controls his social media. Authentic Campaigns offers, quote, digital services. On March 30th, 2023, following the announcement of President Trump's New York City indictment, Booker posted to X, quote, the news of Trump's indictment is a testament to one of the most fundamental ideals of our country. No one is above the law, not even presidents. Since Alvin Bragg indicted President Donald Trump, FEC records show that Senator Cory Booker has paid Judge Mershon's daughter's firm, Authentic Campaigns, over $336,000, and you can see those numbers for yourself. Booker's cowardice is just the latest example of elite Democrats lying or running when asked about their, quote, get Trump scams. We greeted Senator Booker. We could play the clip, actually. We could play the clip. But we're making a name for ourselves in Washington, D.C. These people know that we're coming after them. They recognize us. They know, oh, wow, you're with Laura Loomer. I don't want to talk to you. And then Cory Booker today actually said to Charles, oh, there he is again. So they're recognizing us. They know that we are pro-Trump. They know that we're going to be holding them accountable. We did this to several of them last week as well. We confronted Benny Thompson, the chairman of the J6 committee. We confronted Jamie Raskin. We confronted Maxine Waters. We confronted Senator Cory Booker. And they run scared. So let's go ahead and play this clip.
Senator Booker.
Here he is again.
Do you remember me, by the way? Hey, did Lauren Mershon write your tweets for you, considering you're a client of Authentic Campaigns? You want to answer that, Senator Booker?
There he is again. Play it one more time. It's just so funny. You see how triggered he gets? He goes, there he is again. Play it.
Senator Booker.
Here he is again.
Do you remember me, by the way? Hey, did Lauren Mershon write your tweets for you, considering you're a client of Authentic Campaigns? You want to answer that, Senator Booker?
So you could see, wasn't too happy to see us, but the video's gone viral. Let's see how many views it has on Twitter. Let's click on that. We posted that today. Almost 400,000 views. It's pretty good for being posted this afternoon. You can open up that tweet right there. That's the expose from May 14th. So you could see he's a client of Judge Mershon's. We posted the receipts just so everybody can see. You can scroll down and look at it. So click on each of those individual photos. There you have Authentic Campaigns, the client list. There's Senator Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, okay, all these people. Click out of that. There's the screenshot. The news of Trump's indictment is a testament to one of the most fundamental ideals of our country. No one is above the law, not even presidents. March 30th, 2023. That's the same exact day that Alvin Bragg issued his indictment against President Trump, right? So we have the receipts. Scroll. Cory Booker for Senate, digital consulting services, FEC reports that show that he's been paying Authentic Campaigns. He started actually right before the indictment was issued. So just another one of these coincidences, of course, just another one of these coincidences. So go back and, like I said, you can see, scroll back to that other photo just before the indictment. So the indictment is March 30th. Go back to the receipts, the first page, the next one. No, the receipts. Back, right there. January 10th, 2023. And then go back to the previous page of receipts. March 8th, 2023. And then the indictment was issued on March 30th. So, and then another one was issued on April 21st, 2023, right? So that's a lot of money. I mean, look, $13,000 almost a month. It's a lot of money. And the question really needs to be asked whether or not Lauren Mershon is writing these tweets, because if so, then that means that, there is clearly a conflict. We already know that there's a conflict. I mean, every single representative who's been outside of the courthouse speaking out, and we have a lot of videos of this. I mean, we have more videos, I think, from today, right? We have videos from outside of the courthouse from earlier this week. You have members of Congress speaking about this sham trial, right, every single day. I mean, we have clips of President Trump, right? Let's play the clip of President Trump today speaking out about the sham trial. Let's see which one. Let's see. Any judge. Play clip number 4.
Finch. And Cohen said he went to the bank and withdrew the cash and kept a lot of it to himself in a brown paper bag.
Look, you got to admire an orange tie. President Trump today in an orange tie, black suit. And here he is.
Well, thank you very much. Just to begin, the news on inflation is it really is rampant. It's moving at a level like people have not seen. They don't seem to be able to cut it down. Biden has no control over what's happening. He started it with energy, and now it's taken on a life of its own. It's very sad. We'll get it fixed. I'd like to be out campaigning right now, but again, I'm going to be in here almost 5 weeks in court. They have no case. There's no crime. Every single legal expert, and I can say this again and again, and every time they come out, maybe at some point they'll come out and say, oh, we found something. But every single legal expert, Andy McCarthy, Jonathan Turley, Mark Levin, every one of them, Greg Jarrett, these are great talents. These are actually very brilliant guys, and they're not necessarily on my side historically over the years. But they're very talented people. They're legal scholars, highly respected. Every single person is saying there's no crime. There's no crime. It's a kangaroo court. There's never been anything like this that I've ever seen. Now, I had 2 other trials that were kangaroo courts also. It's stacked up. And hopefully appellate division will take care of those things because they're, egregious. And the problem is that New York is really on trial itself. The whole world is watching. They're seeing what's happening. And you can't use conflicted judges. This is a conflicted judge, highly conflicted judge. And you just can't do that. You just cannot allow that to happen because you ruin the whole system. The whole system comes tumbling down. And New York, look, I love New York. This is where I grew up. I was born here. I grew up here. And I see what's happening with this judicial system. And it's just, they call it all kangaroos. And we just can't have it. And I think the appellate courts can take care of a lot of things, but this one shouldn't even get to an appellate court. This should be an easy ruling, and it should really be. And I think it would be great for Judge Mershon to rule from the bench and to terminate this witch hunt. And it needs it. It really needs decisiveness. Every single scholar says there's been no crime. He's done nothing wrong. And I'm fighting for 300 million people. I mean, I have no choice. It's not that I like doing this, sitting in an icebox all day for 7, 8, 9 hours. And it's a very cold room, I will tell you that. But I'm doing this because our country needs it. Our Constitution's under threat. Our country needs it. So here I am. I will be doing something in the morning and then probably coming back in the afternoon. And we'll be resting pretty quickly. Resting meaning resting the case. I won't be resting. I don't rest. I like to rest sometimes, but I don't get to rest. But we have a phenomenal case. We've won the case by any standard. Any other judge would have thrown this case out. Any other judge would have thrown this case out. And I think that Juan Mershon would do himself and do the state and city a great service by doing what everybody knows should be done. And so we're going to go in. We'll have another little you see it. The crowds outside, we can't get, it's not a very big thing for us. We don't really care that much. But people want to get out there, and you have all police. The only people that are let out there is the radical left lunatics. And they put our people 4 or 5 blocks away. There are a lot of them, too. But I say that doesn't matter. What matters is what's going on in this courthouse. So thank you very much. We'll be back a little bit later. Thank you.
Sir, why did you post that video about the unified right? How did that get on your website?
Why wasn't you testified as a trial?
Always interesting to see the posse who joins him in court, and this is a whole new cast of characters
John
today.
Jr. there, too, in the background there.
Yeah, Eric Schmidt, the senator, is there today. It looked like Pam Bondi, too,
Yes,
and also Matt Whitaker, who I think was quoted yesterday also. So you observed that you think he got a haircut, which...
I do think he got a haircut. A little trim last night, trim. Brett Tolman is a former U.S. attorney and now executive director at Right On.
We have some more clips as well. Let's go and cut to clip number 3 of President Trump in front of the courthouse talking about how this is a witch hunt. Because every single day, President Trump arrives around 9 or so, 9:15 in the morning, and then court begins at 10, and he gives a press conference before he goes in and then after when court ends. So let's go ahead and play clip number 3.
Before. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. This is a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt. This is to damage crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country, by far, to damage his political opponent. That's all this is. A highly political judge, a totally conflicted judge, who just did something that nobody's ever seen. And the press is not happy, I don't imagine. They just got thrown out of a courthouse. Nobody's ever seen anything quite.
And of course, what President Trump is referring to when he said nobody's ever seen anything like this is, you know, Michael Cohen's former lawyer, Bob Costello, was supposed to testify. And while he was testifying in the trial, he was trying to put forth evidence, and Judge Merchan just wouldn't let him because they knew that his testimony would be so devastating to the case. And just people are, you know, saying they've never seen anything like this before. And so let's play clip number 12 of President Trump speaking out about Judge Merchan's treatment of Bob Costello.
That was an incredible display. I've never seen anything like it in my life. A tyrant. And everyone's talking about it. This is what we have. We have an acting judge, appointed judge by Democrats, by the club. And they're keeping now, I guess this is our 4th week, soon to be our 5th week.
And, you know, every single day when President Trump is in trial, the media thinks, okay, well, his poll numbers are going to decrease. And, you know, their entire strategy, this entire campaign cycle has been, oh, let's just indict President Trump and call him a criminal and say that we can't have a president that's on trial, right? That's been their entire strategy. Meanwhile, polls show that President Trump is skyrocketing in every single swing state, and people are lining the streets. I mean, they've made this guy into a total rock star. Well, he's already a rock star, but, you know, they're really making him into a martyr, and that's what they're going to do. And, you know, they know that they can't jail President Trump, because if they jail President Trump, I mean, you'll probably have a civil war in this country, let's be honest, you know? I mean, really, that's what's probably going to happen. I'm not advocating for violence by any means whatsoever, but I can't control what other people do. But it would probably set off civil war in this country if they jailed President Trump. That's probably what would happen. Let's play clip number 11, and we can see people lining the streets of New York City to get a glimpse of President Trump just yesterday, actually, when he was leaving court. And of course, now there's like a fight on Twitter that's taking place. I just saw a few moments ago when I was looking at my phone, and, you know, you have these like stupid Democrats that are like trying to community note the post because the post went viral and people are talking about how many people showed up to support Trump. So you have these stupid Democrats that are trying to community note the post and say, oh, that's not people showing up to support Trump. That's people showing up to support Biden. Meanwhile, Margot Martin, who is, one of the communication staffers for President Trump's campaign, literally posted the screenshot of the video file in her cell phone that shows that she filmed it, right? So, it's not that this is a distorted clip by any means whatsoever. It's that the left is freaking out because they're trying to say that people don't support President Trump, but they actually do. So I think we have Carrie Lake now, right? So, all right. So joining me now is the next United States Senator from the state of Arizona, which is actually my home state, believe it or not, Carrie Lake. Yeah. How's it going, Carrie?
Happy birthday, Laura Loomer.
Thank you so much.
That's how it's going.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yes, I loved your message today. You posted a really beautiful birthday tribute to me. Thank you so much.
I've never seen more people get happy birthday messages than what you got today. And that tells me that people appreciate your investigative reporting. You don't shy away from the tough stories. I mean, some of the biggest stories that we now know about are thanks to your reporting. And so we just appreciate you, but more, we know how dedicated you are. And you even put your personal life on hold. And I laugh a little bit because today you're working. You're not out there, having a birthday celebration.
Carrie's like, oh, what are you doing for your birthday? And she's like, are you going out? You have any nice dinner plans or anything? And I was like, well, doing some interviews and, covering the trial. But, look, we have 5 months left. And I know you and I talk offline about this sometimes too, about how it's not all fun and games. Like people need to wake up and realize that, it's nice. I'd love to go out for a nice birthday dinner and eat some cake and, take the night off, but we have to save our country. And we only have 6 months left to get the job done. And it's going to be doomsday in this country if Donald Trump doesn't get back in. And I know you understand that. And that's why you're running for United States Senate. And we just sometimes have to put our personal lives on hold for the greater good.
It's a sacrifice. And I've been doing that myself. As a matter of fact, sometimes I find it hard just to relax because I wake up every day and say, what do we need to do to save this country? Yeah. And I know you feel the same way. It was just a few months ago. My husband and I have been campaigning all day and it was about 10 o'clock at night. We were starving and we stopped in. We knew a restaurant that was open late and we just stopped in to grab a quick meal. And we kind of looked around and we saw people having a good time, which I was happy they were doing. But my brain is just not in that, let's party, let's have a good time. My brain is kind of in that, what do we need to do now to save our country mode? There'll be a time to celebrate. And I believe that will be after November 5th. And there's going to be a time to celebrate after we take our country back, turn things around. I think our 250th birthday in 2025, the entire country will celebrate this beautiful country as we're bringing things back. And that's when I'm going to let my hair down and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I tell people too. I'll party when Donald Trump gets back into the White House. But right now, we gotta support him. And I know that's what you're doing. You've been endorsed by President Trump, and there's some really big updates in your case. Of course, there's a new New York Times poll that came out, and there's some other polling as well from Emerson College that shows that this really is a neck and neck race between you and the radical Marxist Democrat Ruben Gallego, who, is basically for open borders, and he's, in favor of 9-month abortions, and he's just a total radical. And now they're freaking out. I mean, you have rhinos freaking out. You have Democrats freaking out, lying, saying that President Trump is up in the polls in Arizona, saying that Carrie Lake is down. And what's the real story here? Because I'm looking at these numbers right now, and I can see these numbers, and it's neck and neck within the margin of error.
Well, every poll has it close right now. And I take that as a victory because Ruben Gallego just spent $7 million, carpet bombing the airwaves, trying to lie about who he is. He's actually a radical. He's opposed to the border wall. He's for sanctuary cities. He's actually voted to give the illegals who have poured across our border not only asylum, but voting rights. He wants them to have jobs that Americans should have, and he wants us to foot the bill. He is against Trump's tax cuts in January, plans to raise taxes, the highest tax hike we've ever had in our country. I know that people don't want that. And even though he's lied about who he is, he's remained pretty steady in the polls. It's neck and neck right now. Once we start defining who he is, which we're starting to do. We just bought $10 million in ads. We're going to be able to show people who he really is. And it's radical. He's a Marxist. But, they're going to be putting all kinds of lies out. Bogus polls where people don't have to really prove that they're Republican. So Democrats can vote in the poll and say they're Republican and try to say that I'm 15 points down. That's absurd. Anybody who knows what's happening in Arizona knows that I'm closely aligned with President Trump. I am completely in his corner when it comes to America First policies for Arizona and for our country. And we're going to win this race in Arizona, but they're scared to death of us because they know that they can't bribe me. They can't blackmail me. Usually when they get a candidate in there, Laura, they get their claws in them and say, okay, we've got that candidate now. We'll let them win and we've owned that vote. And with me, the people of Arizona own my vote. I'm representing them. And so I feel very confident in the direction things are going. We showed up at an event about a week and a half ago in Goodyear, Arizona. The organizer is a wonderful woman. She said, we're going to have a huge crowd, 250 people. The previous record was 350, but that was when we had Matt Gaetz there and Paul Gosar.
Right.
So we're happy 250 are going to show up. We show up that night, and Laura, 760 people had shown up to hear me speak and lay out my plan for Arizona and what I want to do when I get to the U.S. Senate. 760. We blew the doors off the place. And I'm not saying this to boast. It's not about me. It never has been. It's about the people of Arizona, the people of this country stepping forward and saying, we got to get involved. We have to jump into politics right now to save our country. And we see this with President Trump's rally in, of all places, New Jersey, 100,000 people showing up. If you would have said President Trump would draw a crowd of 100,000 in New Jersey, even 4 or 5 years ago, people would have said you're crazy. But we see how Americans are waking up.
They're waking up. And, speaking about just how radical your opponent is, one of the biggest issues right now is immigration in our country. We see that all across the country in places like California and New York, the Democrats are trying to take advantage of Joe Biden's open border policies. And of course, Arizona is one of the states that is most effective by these open border policies. And they view it as an electoral strategy, right? They want to give these people the right to vote. We've seen it in California and New York where they have actually proposed legislation. I know the media doesn't want to report on this, but they're passing legislation to give illegal aliens the right to vote. And so you have Ruben Gallego tweeting in 2018, Donald Trump wants to use $25 billion for a stupid, useless border wall. I mean, is that really what we need from the senator in Arizona, the future senator of Arizona, potentially? Somebody who thinks that a border wall is stupid. How many Arizonans need to die from fentanyl poisoning? How many family members of innocent Arizona families need to be raped, maimed, and killed by dangerous, illegal alien invaders? We just don't need any more of this. There's over 12 million illegal aliens who have come into our country illegally under Joe Biden. There's estimates that say maybe 65 million illegal aliens are in our country right now. If you start giving these people the right to vote, that's enough to effectively replace American voters. And they're talking about potentially creating, if they get 4 more years of Joe Biden, 13 new congressional districts in this country. Forget about a Republican ever getting elected ever again if you have illegal aliens and the demographics and the population of illegal aliens creating Democrat stronghold districts that are going to wipe out the possibility for Republican victories and a Republican presidency ever again.
Well, it'll be game over for America. I mean, this is the last final election. We either get this right and we vote for America First policies, or we vote with Joe Biden, people like Ruben Gallego, who truly want the destruction of our country. Anybody who thinks we can absorb 12 million people, and I think you're right, Laura, it's much higher than that. President Trump says 20 million. It's maybe even more than that. But let's just take, 10 or 12 million. And it's so obvious what's happening. They're pouring across our country. Joe Biden wants the health care we're giving to veterans to be shared with people here illegally. Ruben Gallego wants to put them up and pay for them to be put up and pour billions of dollars into the symptoms of this problem. They don't want to solve the problem. Solving the problem would be putting up and quickly expediting the construction of the border wall. It would cost between $5 and $15 billion. And considering we just sent 270 billion to Ukraine, I think the American people would rather have spent 15 billion constructing quickly the border wall to prevent people from coming across. But
Yeah.
you're right about the congressional districts. Think about how many people, Laura, and you know many friends who've they're refugees. They've left places like California. They've left places like Chicago, New York. These are Democrat bastion strongholds, and they're losing population. Like every day, they're losing hundreds, maybe thousands of people every week to red states that are free. And
Right.
that's where they're shipping. This is why I've never been for, even though we even had some of our Republican governors deciding they wanted to ship people in a bus to Martha's Vineyard or New York City or Chicago. I've never been for that. That's just taking part and taking people who are here illegally and moving them further into our country. But they're doing that because they're losing so many American citizens from these, blue states, that they want to keep their congressional power. They want to keep their congressional seats, and they're keep them with people who are here illegally, who've invaded our country. And we can't afford it. Hardworking Americans shouldn't be footing the bill for housing, food, and giving these people job permits to drive our wages down. It's killing the middle class. It's killing the working class, and people are waking up to it. That's why we're seeing people in the Bronx and New Jersey. Arizona is 100% America first. They're for President Trump. They're for Carrie Lake for Senate, and they're fed up with what's happening.
Yeah, and I think too, another thing that's really shameful about Ruben Gallego is he likes to tout, his military service as if he's some kind of war hero in our country. And the reality is that over 22 veterans a day are committing suicide. And if Ruben Gallego truly cares about veterans, as he's always gaslighting people into thinking, and talking about his military service, then shouldn't he be more concerned with actually building a wall so that we could keep illegal aliens out instead of having over $700 billion of our taxpayer money every single year going towards funding illegal aliens when that money could be going towards the veterans? I mean, how many homeless veterans are on the streets of American cities? This money should be going to our homeless veterans, not going to Ukraine to fund the war machine, which is what Ruben Gallego supports, not going to fund healthcare and social services for illegal aliens. And so I think that it's time for Ruben Gallego to stop, pretending like he cares about veterans. He needs to stop pretending like he cares about veterans, because clearly he's in favor of veterans sleeping on the streets of America. I would even go as far, maybe it's provocative to say, I would say he's in favor of veterans committing suicide, because until he actually says that he wants to divert all of those resources from illegal aliens to all of those veterans who are in need, and maybe we could even save some of the lives of these veterans, I don't want to hear Ruben Gallego talk about his military service anymore, because he's choosing illegal aliens over our American heroes, which is disgraceful.
Every man and woman who serves in the military takes the oath of office to uphold the Constitution and protect American citizens. And that's not being done right now. I do appreciate Gallego's service to our country, but I don't appreciate the fact that in his district, he's a congressman in the district that represents Phoenix, they have the fastest growing homeless population in the country, which probably, when you think about it, means in the world. And I mean, they're surpassing places like LA and Skid Row and San Francisco and Portland. It is absolute destruction and despair in Ruben Gallego's district. I have gone through the homeless areas of Phoenix, and I've met people who have served in the military. And it breaks my heart to think that somebody, Laura, who's willing to die for this country would come back home and because of whatever the issues they're facing, would find themselves on the streets in Phoenix and not be given help. And it's despicable that this is happening. He's done nothing for the homeless to bring down the homelessness in his district. And many of them indeed are veterans, and not one single veteran should be on the street, living on the street right now. We need to be providing them help. We have the VA, health and medical and hospitals that President Trump worked to make better after people like Ruben Gallego tried to destroy. And President Trump helped, and he said, we're not going to have one veteran wait 3 months to see a doctor. We have veterans who had cancer who were waiting 6 months to see a doctor. They died before they could get into a doctor. President Trump said, if that is happening, They should be able to go to the nearest hospital, even if it's a Mayo Clinic or a prestigious hospital like that, and get in immediately. And we need to get back to that kind of a policy where we're putting the 455,000 veterans who live in Arizona, we are actually elevating them to the heroes that they are and making sure they get the treatment that they deserve and the services they deserve after serving our country.
Yeah, and Arizona, of course, was pretty much ground zero for the major VA scandal that rocked our country and, set off all these whistleblower reports several years ago. And President Trump, of course, said we're not going to tolerate this. We're not going to tolerate, veterans walking into the VA and shooting themselves in the head because they can't get treatment and when they've been begging for treatment. And he vowed to address the crisis at the VA, which really, ground zero, as I said, took place in Arizona. And so the fact that,
That's right.
that Arizona is now, along with Texas, really ground zero for the invasion and also ground zero for the mistreatment of our veterans. It's time for, progressive Democrats and really just American voters in general to make a decision this November to see whether they're going to be putting illegal alien invaders first or they're going to be putting American citizens and American heroes first. And I think the choice is clear with you. I mean, you look at some of these quotes here. I'm officially calling on Democrats across the country to chip in to create an unbeatable progressive movement, not a Democrat movement, not an American movement, a progressive movement. And one of the main pillars of the progressive movement, which of course is funded by George Soros, and we've seen that Alex Soros has actually traveled to Arizona to hold fundraisers for Ruben Gallego. One of the main pillars of the progressive movement is open borders. Everyone is welcome here is the progressive movement mantra. And so a progressive movement is not a movement for border security.
I want to speak to people who are younger. I know you just had a birthday, Laura, but I still consider you in that younger generation of people who are hoping that if they do everything right, that they have access to the American dream. As long as we have millions of people pouring across our border, as long as Ruben Gallego is green lighting all of that and Joe Biden, we're going to watch as inflation just traps and destroys your generation. How do you, and I have a daughter who's 21. She said, Mom, I did the math. Even if I work every waking hour, if I wake up and start working and I work until it's time for bed, I won't be able to save enough to buy a home right now. Home prices are soaring. Rent prices are soaring. People who are graduating from college are saying, I'm never going to get out of my parents' home because I can't afford rent right now. When we have to bring in 12 million people and they are taking housing that American citizens need, of course the prices are going to go up. It's basic supply and demand. You don't need to be a world famous economist to get that. But we have 12 million additional people, possibly more, in this country competing for housing. And then we're watching the federal government subsidizing the housing for these people. Our young generation, which is our future, is never going to be able to grasp a hold of that American dream. And we're going to watch inflation continue to just destroy this young generation. I live in Arizona. We're watching as veterans are suffering. This young up and coming generation is suffering, saying, how are we ever going to get not just ahead, but just catch up? And then we're watching as a lot of the retirees, Arizona is obviously a place people want to come to retire, and we welcome everyone who wants to come to our beautiful state. But they're even telling me, wow, Carrie, I did everything right. We have a nest egg, we have a 401k. And now we're looking at that. And we're looking at the cost of living, and we don't have enough money to get through with the cost of living. And one woman told me, I'm 80 years old and I may have to go back to work. And she said, Carrie, I don't know who's going to want to hire an 80-year-old. It broke my heart. It crushed me because I thought, wow, an 80-year-old shouldn't have to worry about going back to work. An 80-year-old should be enjoying their wonderful golden years, enjoying their grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and not having to wonder how they're going to make ends meet at 80 years old.
Absolutely. And, if President Trump doesn't get back into the White House in 2024, and if people like you don't get elected to the United States Senate and the Democrats are able to, take control of the Senate and take control of the House and take control of the White House, then this country's doomed. And it's stories like that we hear every single day. So it's why you have my endorsement. I know that's why President Trump has endorsed you, and I wish you all the best. So Carrie, where do people go to support you? Because I encourage everybody to to donate to your campaign. I had the pleasure of attending your fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago a couple weeks ago, where you broke history. You broke records, really. You broke records. You raised the most money that any Senate candidate has ever raised at Mar-a-Lago. Where do people go to donate a grassroots donation to you today?
We raised the most for a non-incumbent Senate candidate, and I'm honored to have your endorsement. Thank you, Laura. I'm so thrilled to have President Trump. There's nobody he endorsed the minute they stepped into the race. He kept saying, when are you going to announce I want to endorse you? He endorsed me the minute we stepped into the race. We're doing great. We are neck and neck in this race. And when people get to know who Ruben Gallego is, when we start to define him, I'm blessed because everyone in Arizona knows me. I've got the same name ID that President Trump has. When we start to define Ruben Gallego, people are going to be appalled. They're going to be appalled that he marched in defund the police rallies, that he supports sanctuary cities, that he wants everyone pouring across the border to not only have access to our health care that our veterans should be taking and should be receiving, but he also wants to give them job permits. He wants to give them voting rights. It's absolutely despicable, and it will be the end of America. And so we need to vote these people, these radicals, out of office. You can go to KarriLake.com, KARILAKE.com. And I want your listeners, Laura, to think about how united we truly are as Americans. I'm all over the country. I'm all over Arizona. We're truly united right now. I believe we are the majority of the people. And the media is going to be working overtime to try to lie, to try to bring us down, make us think we're separated, make us think we're 50-50 or 49-51. We have the majority of people with us who want to bring this country back. They want to put our differences aside and focus on how do we bring America back. And we have to tune out the mainstream media. They are nothing but a bunch of liars. And the sooner we do that, the faster we recover and we take this country back. So thank you so much. I thank you for your tenacity. You have uncovered so many important stories that the rest of the media finally picks up on, and you never get the credit you deserve. But the people in our movement appreciate you. And happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate you, and I know you're going to be an amazing United States Senator, and I really appreciate all you're doing for our country, Karri, so keep up the great work.
God bless you, and happy birthday, Laura
Thank
Loomer.
you so much. Thank you. So, the wonderful Karri Lake. So this is a great campaign she's running, and that's why the media is lying about her. That's why they're lying about her poll numbers and saying that she's behind when it's really neck and neck. So, I support Karri Lake, and President Trump supports her. And look, I don't think anyone needs to be convinced on how bad this open borders crisis is in our country. And you just can't have people being elected to office who think that a border wall is stupid, or who think that it's okay to allow our country to be invaded. So anyway, another person who thinks that it's okay to have an invasion in our country is Joe Biden. So are you a sleepy Joe who has zero cognitive performance? Are you scared of walking upstairs without being worried you're going to fall down? Do you struggle to muster the focus and brain power for basic things in life, such as eating ice cream or riding a bike? Well, you need to stop drinking woke liberal coffee and start your day by drinking Rumble's very own 1775 coffee. Never mind that it will be the best tasting coffee you've ever had in your life, as in seriously good. It's also ethically sourced from a family farm in the high altitude of the mountains of Bolivia. So instead of waking up tomorrow morning and drinking your mold-infested, big corporation-owned woke ideology coffee that is probably making you sick from all the pesticides it's sprayed with, you should try Rumble 1775 coffee and support freedom of speech and build a parallel economy that actually values you. And when you support 1775 coffee, you're supporting me, an exclusive Rumble creator. So go to 1775coffee.com/Loomer right now and pick up your first bag. Use code FRESH to save 10% off your first order. My favorite roast is the medium roast. Sometimes I like a dark roast if I'm really sleepy, but for the most part, I really like a medium roast, and then I put my French vanilla creamer in, and it tastes really great. So you're not going to regret it for a moment. Level up your morning routine with a bag of 1775 coffee and sleep well at night, knowing that your hard-earned money is going towards supporting freedom-loving creators like me on Rumble and not the woke mob. So again, that's 1775coffee.com/Loomer and use code FRESH at checkout. See, this isn't just woke coffee. This isn't just woke free premium coffee. 1775 coffee. Loomer. Use code FRESH at checkout. I really like it. I drink this coffee all the time. All right. Well, Carrie Lake, got to pull her website up. Do we have our website? Let's pull Carrie Lake's website up too so that we can show people where they can support Carrie Lake and her campaign with a donation. And then we'll go to the chat and we'll see what everybody's saying. She always has the nicest photos because her husband's a photographer. Husband follows her around to all of her events. He's great. Jeff. That's his name. Oops, someone tried calling me. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, too, that I've received from all of you today. Been so nice of you. So you go to carrielake.com. That's carrielake.com, and then you can click donate. And when you click on the donate button, join the movement. This country is about to change once and for all. Please make your check payable to Carrie Lake for Senate, and then you can go and you can donate. And my family is all voting for Carrie Lake. My family lives in Arizona. I'm originally from Arizona, but of course I live in Florida now. But everyone I know in Arizona is supporting Carrie Lake. So if you live in Arizona, be sure that you go out and you support Carrie Lake for United States Senate, because we got to get this woman into the United States Senate. We have to have a senator in the state of Arizona who's going to advocate for closed borders and support President Trump's America First policies. And I know that Carrie Lake is going to be supporting President Trump's America First policies. So, yeah, let's go to the chat. And let's see, we have a $100 super chat. Hi, Laura. Happy birthday. Thank you for everything you're exposing. People love you. Oh, thank you so much to Tam88774. I really appreciate your support. It's very nice of you. Thank you so much for all the super chats. And of course, too, if people want to support my work, subscribe to me here on Rumble. You can also make a direct contribution on my website, loomered.com. That's loomered.com. And you can click the donate button if you want to support my independent journalism. Or you can also become a monthly subscriber on my locals. Whatever you want to do. There's multiple options where people can support my work. You can go to donating. You can donate on loomered.com, of course. You can mail a check to me, or preferably just donate online. And let's see. Go to Rumble, $20 from Leventhal Spade. Carrie Lake is over the target since the reprehensible DeSantis Twitter trolls have started to go after her. It feels like a coordinated proxy war against one of Donald Trump's main surrogates. Yeah, that's true. All the DeSantis people are attacking Carrie Lake, but we don't take DeSantis people seriously because, as we saw today, as I've been exposing, Ron DeSantis is full of shit. Where is Ron DeSantis? He came out and said apparently in the secret meeting that he had with a developer donor of Donald Trump's, who's a very nice man, by the way. I know this donor who organized this meeting. Very nice man. Big supporter of Donald Trump. Steve Witkoff. Good guy. But, it's like Ron DeSantis comes out and says, oh, okay, well, I'm going to fundraise for Donald Trump. Where is he? How come he's not supporting Trump outside of the courthouse? Where is he? How come he's not there with all these other people like Tim Scott and Vivek Ramaswamy and Doug Burgum and everybody else who dropped out? I haven't seen Ron DeSantis at the courthouse. So let's see. Will3301 said, happy birthday, Laura. Gave a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Let's see. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate all of you who are supporting my work. Let's see. Happy birthday to the greatest and most gorgeous political independent investigative journalist in U.S. history. Well, that's very nice of you. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, LL. Are you 25? Now I wish. I wish I was still 25. I'm 31, though, now. So officially 31. Getting old. Let's see. Lots of happy birthday messages. Let's see. CB007 said, I donated last week to Carrie's campaign. Let's see. Her husband knows how to leverage the lighting. Yeah, her husband's a great photographer. So definitely a great photographer. Marnie said, it's been so inspiring to witness how far Laura's gone in her career. Shout out to Marnie. Marnie, I got the card you sent me. Look. I won't show the address here, but here you go, Marnie. you know that this is the envelope you sent me. So I'm going to open this. I haven't opened it yet, but thank you so much, Marnie, for the really nice birthday card that you sent me. I'm looking forward to opening it after my show. So it was delivered here. Marnie's always been a really big supporter of mine. We met a long time ago, what, 2017, I believe, 2018, when I was exposing Ilhan Omar. So Marnie's been one of my longest supporters. Let's see. What's going on with the RNC and the vetting delegate mess? Thought the traitors were purged. Well, I thought so too, but you know, apparently not. Been reporting a lot on the delegate mess at the RNC. So again, we are live right now, you guys. So please be sure that you are reposting this live link. Go to rumble.com/Laura Loomer, rumble.com/Laura Loomer, and subscribe. Again, if you want to subscribe, it's free to subscribe, of course, to the Rumble. Be sure that you turn notifications on so that you're getting my updates. And then you can also click the Get Loomered button if you want. Click the Get Loomered button there. And that's how you can subscribe to my Locals account and become a monthly supporter for $7 a month or $70 a year. Or you can also give a one-time donation as well. So let's see. What are people saying? Let's go back to the chat. I think Jason Goodman's about to join us soon, too. So coming up soon, let's see. Jason should be joining us in what, 2 minutes now, right? 2 minutes he's going to be joining us. So Jason's been a longtime friend of mine. He was with me years ago when I first confronted James Comey. If those of you remember me confronting James Comey at the Barnes & Noble a couple of years ago. And Jason was with me in Las Vegas when, the Las Vegas shooting happened, I believe in 2017. So Jason and I have been friends for a really long time. He's a really great independent journalist. He has his own show called Crowdsource the Truth. And he's been doing a lot of really good work exposing all the Democrat lawfare and these political operatives who are working against President Trump. And really one of the ringmasters for a lot of this lawfare is a guy by the name of Norm Eisen of the Brookings Institute. And so here's Jason's Twitter account. You all should follow him on Twitter. JG_CSTT, Crowdsource the Truth. He used to have a lot more followers, but he got banned on Twitter. So, really good guy. And we have his video. I guess, do we have Jason yet? I'm going to play the video, I suppose. Well, we'll just scroll down. Let's scroll down on his Twitter feed. So we'll play the video soon when Jason comes on, and you can see it's almost at 1 million views right there. Hopefully by tonight's episode, we'll get it to 1 million views. Let's scroll down some more. Scroll down. So he has this really exciting video confronting Norm Eisen that we're going to play soon. Keep on scrolling. He's been outside of the Trump trial, and, Norm Eisen was hanging out with Rachel Maddow. Let's see, scroll up. People are starting to catch on. The stunning testimony of Robert Costello has torpedoed this pathetic lawfare case. People are also beginning to see lawfare is not just a buzzword. These cowardly criminals must be held to account. They have corrupted our justice system. And, we've talked about Norm Eisen a lot on this show because if you recall, Norm Eisen is tied to the group Crew. Crew, the group out of Colorado that helped, organize the lawsuit against President Trump in Colorado to try to keep him off the ballot. And he's tied to Melanie Sloan of Crew as well. He's a big-time donor to Biden. In fact, I think we actually have an article up on Loomered.com. Let's go to Loomered.com really quick before... Oh, do we have Jason? Maybe we'll just go to Jason first. Let's see. We'll go to Loomered.com. We have Jason joining any moment now, but... if you go to Loomered.com and you type in Norm Eisen, and you type in Norm Eisen in the search bar, you can see for yourself that we have a lot of stories there about him. So let me pull this up right now. And you guys, we are live right now, so I'll keep on repeating it. Please be sure that you're reposting the live link. And if you're watching on Twitter, please download the Rumble app on your phone. It's free to download, and follow me, rumble.com/Laura Loomer. I'm pulling up this article right now, and then we'll talk about it. That way, when I'm talking to Jason, you all can see what I'm talking about. So, all right, here's the article. They are big-time Biden donors, and you're going to see how this guy, Norm Eisen, is tied to George Soros as well. But I believe we now have Jason. Jason, can you hear me?
Yes, Laura, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Well, Jason Goodman, everybody from Crowdsource the Truth. How's it going, Jason? I see your video is almost at 1 million views. I'm going to encourage everybody right now watching to go follow Jason and retweet the video, because by the end of this video, I want his video to have 1 million views. So I'm going to retweet your video right now, Jason.
Thank you, Laura. It's great to see you. You're looking great, Laura. That vacation in the sun did a lot of...
I know. Got tan. I got tan.
Yeah.
I got really tan. So.
And you're fit. This is like a whole new happy birthday. This
Thank
is like
you.
a whole new you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm finding your video right now, and then I'm going to retweet it. Here it is right now. I'm pinning it at the top of my post right now, everybody. So it's at 992,000 views. I'm retweeting it right now, and I'm going to share it in one of my group chats. And hopefully, my goal is by the end of this video, this interview with you, your interview will have 1 million views. So before we get started, Jason, I'm going to play the video because I want everybody to see what happened. You live in New York City, and you've been covering the lawfare against President Trump for years now, really, from the very beginning. You know, you've been a prolific reporter on all the Russiagate collusion hoax. You have reported on Mueller extensively. You were with me when I confronted James Comey, I was saying earlier, when we confronted him about Crossfire Hurricane at the Barnes & Noble, where I got kicked out and almost arrested. Let's go ahead and play this clip, because you confronted Norm Eisen as he was leaving the Trump trial, right?
Yeah, that was yesterday.
So he was leaving the Trump trial yesterday. Let's go ahead and play this clip of Jason confronting Norm Eisen of the Brookings Institute right now.
Norm, exactly the guy I wanted to speak to.
I'm sorry, I'm on a call.
Well, it doesn't matter, because you're a fucking liar who set this all up, and Costello just exploded your bullshit. You're going to jail, bro. What's the matter?
Officer, this gentleman is harassing me.
I'm not harassing him. I'm asking him questions. This is a guy who's lied to set up this whole trial. Norm, I'm not harassing you. I'm asking about how you've lied to set up this whole trial, how you've obviously coerced Michael Cohen to pay Stormy Daniels out of his own money. That's exactly what Costello testified to, and that you're lying about, Norm. Why are you lying, Norm? You are destroying this country. You know that? You're going to go to jail, Norm. Jail, Norm. They like guys like you in jail. You know what happens to you in jail, Norm?
Jason, I wish you would have finished that sentence. Please tell us, enlighten us. What happens to guys like Norm Eisen?
I think
are you trying to say to me that Norm Eisen needs to keep his soap on a rope when he goes to jail?
Oh, Laura, I was thinking more along the lines of people are going to try to compel him to write motions and pleadings. He's an attorney. They love attorneys in jail. He's going to be very popular.
No, he's going to shack up with a guy named Bubba in the showers, and he's going to need a lifelong supply of rope to keep his soap on a rope, right? So I think that's what's going to happen. What's up?
What do you think about an adult man walking around in a suit with a backpack like he's 14?
Well, I just think that these people are very strange, and I don't know. I think it's so funny too how he goes, "Oh, officer, this man right here is harassing me." It's like, what a pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, harassment is what he has done to President Trump with, all of these dark money organizations. We know he's tied to Crew, which is the organization with Melanie Sloan, funded by George Soros, that filed that lawsuit in Colorado to remove President Trump from the ballot. We know that he was one of the masterminds behind Russiagate. We know that he's tied to a lot of these, dark money operations that are funding these lawsuits against President Trump across the country to remove him from the ballot. And Norm Eisen is somebody that should be a household name because of how, sinister he is and how connected he is to the Democrats and their lawfare machine. but a lot of people really don't know who he is. And so it's great that you confronted him because he looked like he wanted to piss his pants. And I just think that these people have to be confronted more in public because, you know, they harass President Trump on a daily basis. Like, why is he even at President Trump's trial hanging out with Rachel Maddow? I couldn't tell who was who in the selfie they took. I was like, you know, who's Norm Eisen and who's Rachel Maddow?
You've just asked a very important question. What is he doing at the trial? So this is New York Superior Court, okay? And in district court, we never have cameras in the trial. That's federal, but this is state court. And it is at the judge's discretion as to whether or not a camera will be inside the courtroom. I completely object to this, and I hope that Congress will take some action to make it so that any court proceeding in the United States of America should be public. It should be live streamed to a government-controlled website that any person can look at, and it should be stored there indefinitely and a permanent part of the record. Because think about it, Laura, this is like a little star chamber, and you've done so much incredible research into Judge Merchan and his family. This is a guy, where is he from? Cuba or somewhere, right? South America?
He's from Colombia, so he's a Colombian immigrant, and you know Judge Chutkan as well is also an immigrant too. So, and look, Judge Eileen Cannon is also an immigrant, but to her credit, she really hasn't been as bad as Merchan and Chutkan. But 3 of the judges in President Trump's lawfare cases are immigrants. And so, you know, look, like I personally think that we need an immigration moratorium in this country. But the fact that the future of our country is resting in the hands of immigrant judges, I think that it's, you know, just another reason why we need to build a taller wall and why we need to really crack down on immigration in our country. Because in what world is it appropriate for immigrants to be deciding whether or not, you know, Donald Trump could be on the ballot or whether or not Donald Trump will be the next president, depending on the outcome of these cases? And some people will say that that's an offensive statement to make. I don't really care. It's just something that a lot of people aren't aware of. And I think that it puts things into perspective when people realize, holy shit, 3 of the judges involved in Trump's cases are not even from this country. They're from Jamaica, Colombia, and Puerto Rico.
I love it that you don't care, and everyone watching knows that and either loves it about you or hates it about you. And I think you and I get along so well because we are both pretty polarizing figures. And most people either love us or hate us. But just to put a little bit of a point on what you're saying, I don't know that the problem is necessarily that they're immigrants, but it's the attitude that the individual immigrant takes with them. Because after the trial today, there was a press conference. A bunch of Republican congressional representatives got together, and Representative Salazar, who is a woman from Florida who I was not familiar with before today. She's a Cuban, well, she's a first-generation
You weren't familiar
American.
with her, really, until today? You never heard of her?
I mean, you know, nobody knows everything about everything. I'm sure I've seen her, but I
no,
haven't
she's,
really
you know,
listened to
she's
her
kind of
speak.
an interesting figure here because, you know, she's a bit of a rhino, but she showed up today and, you know.
She said something really important today.
She did make some good comments
her,
today. Yeah.
The thing she said today that stuck with me, that is that her constituents are from Cuba and Colombia and these South American countries where they've seen these types of political prosecutions and persecutions. So I believe there's a certain type of immigrant who sees that and says, I'm coming to America to preserve American exceptionalism because America is the only country where you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. And I don't know anything about her before. It sounds to me like perhaps there's some beef, which is okay. I'm not going to push back on that. I'm just saying what she said today was so important, I think, because I've always, you know, you hear American exceptionalism, and even if you agree with it, you can understand how other people might feel like that's condescending. But she defined it in a way today that I felt was so important. It's the exceptionalism of the Constitution and the rights that it grants us all. And the fact that this judge and this whole process are threatening that it's got nothing to do with Donald Trump anymore. This is the essence of America that's on trial.
Yeah, and you've also confronted Michael Cohen. You've also confronted Felix Slater. You've confronted a lot of people tied to, you know, the Trump lawfare machine. And you've really been on this. You've confronted Andrew Weissman as well. Two are some of the other lawfare operatives who are against Trump who you've confronted. Obviously, you were with me when we confronted James Comey. I think I've confronted him like 3 times now, but you were with me the very first time we, you know, you were filming when I was getting dragged out by the police.
And you never forget the first time, Laura.
Exactly.
But I'm sure you've
Never
had
forget.
many excellent confrontations with James Comey. I actually haven't gotten Michael Cohen, but lawfare, the key players, Ben Wittes is a really important guy who, like Norm Eisen, a lot of people have not heard of. He's the director of the Lawfare Institute, but he's also on the board of the Department of Homeland Security. I think it's called the Homeland Experts Group. And his wife, Tamara Wittes, was the chief of staff for the ambassador of sanctions. So this is what's happening, Laura. We've got this kind of underground network of nonprofits. CARE is part of this. All of these things that are nonprofit tax-exempt charities are able to operate in such a way that, each of us need to make 40% more money than they do to pay some idiot like Ben Wittes $300,000 a year. It sounds like there's fireworks going on outside. I have no idea what's going on. Maybe it's for your birthday.
Maybe.
But they use these tax-exempt foundations to be able to move all kinds of money around. So think about this, Laura. If somebody wants to sue
they're
Laura
using
Loomer,
and they're using groups like Arabella Advisors, right? And
Yes.
Arabella Advisors is one of the main funds, of course. And that's, of course, one of the groups that is tied to Crew, which is tied to
FTX.
Norm Eisen. And so there's an
Right.
entire umbrella. And a lot of people aren't aware of this now, too, but there was a recent FEC ruling that just came out very quietly about 2 weeks or so ago that is now allowing for unlimited amounts of dark money and even foreign money to be used for ballot initiatives. So you can guarantee that a lot of these different, charity groups or nonprofit organizations will continue to be used for the sake of funding political lawfare and funding election interference and lawfare initiatives on behalf of the Democrats and the progressives and the Get Trump movement under the guise of tax-exempt nonprofit work, which is how all of the lawfare against President Trump is currently being paid for. I mean, there's people literally getting tax write-offs for this, and James Comer is sitting on his ass, and the House Oversight Committee is sitting on their ass while Republicans control Congress, and they refuse to bring the head of Arabella Advisors and some of these other, mega Democrat donor funds in front of Congress. They refuse to subpoena these people and look under the hood and examine how they've been using and abusing IRS, violating IRS laws to fund the Get Trump lawfare movement. So, again, we've been screaming from the rooftops about this for a long time, and I'm sure that you can testify to that as well.
Absolutely. And it's worse than just doing this work under the guise of tax exempt, like they're trying to make themselves look good. Think about this for a second. So if somebody wants to sue Laura Loomer because she's put out a factual news story that's unfavorable to whoever, and they're a millionaire, a billionaire, whatever, they can make a tax-exempt contribution to the Lawfare Institute, let's say, or a number of these different things. And the Lawfare Institute can then make its own tax-exempt contribution to Crew or whatever, so they can move this money around, whereas us regular people dealing in the normal world where if I go hire an attorney, my income is taxed, my payment to the attorney is taxed, the attorney's payment to a research person, their income is taxed. So we're all taxed all over the place. These guys can move money from research thing to little contractor deal. They can move money all around and they're never paying taxes on it. And as you said, they're getting tax write-offs on it. So they're actually using our tax funds to subsidize their activities, to bring frivolous lawsuits against you, frivolous lawsuits against me, criminal legal actions against Trump. And by the way, there's lots of crime going on in New York City that's not being adjudicated in that court when they're wasting all this time and paying all this overtime to police who are guarding that comedy show. Laura, let's think for a minute about all the weird things that have happened from the first day that you came there to that guy, Max Azzarello, allegedly lighting himself on fire. There's been a different street theater performance choreographed by the NYPD and through the JTTF, the FBI, in that park outside that trial since the day it began.
Well, yeah, and, nobody was there that day. If you recall, you were there with me on day one. So you were there and you saw me getting harassed by Democrat political operatives. I was the only, in terms of Trump allies, in terms of, people in the media, along with you, there were no congressional candidates or even members of Congress. The only people who were there on day one were people like me, who I ran for Congress in the past, but there wasn't a single member of Congress there that day. The only other candidate who I saw there at the trial was the candidate for Attorney General for, I believe, for Missouri, Will Scharf, who also happens to be one of President Trump's attorneys who represented him in the Supreme Court. So aside from that, there were no members of Congress there because we were there on day one and nobody was there. So I'm happy to see that we've, shamed these people into showing up into actually supporting President Trump, but it's the least they could do for him, right? Going into the 5th week now, but.
But I think it was good. You know, we had Byron Donalds and Corey Mills and.
Now they're showing up. Yeah, I mean, it's good.
Luna,
now you have people, but on day one, you can testify to this. I mean, the day to be there was probably day one too. And there wasn't anybody there. They only started coming out when I started exposing Judge Merchan's daughter's conflicts, and that's what really lit a fire under everybody's ass to start coming out and talking about the daughter receiving all this money from Democrats. But again, people are very much about themselves, and I think a lot of these people want endorsements for President Trump, and that's what it's about. But here we have this clip actually from outside the courthouse. I'll go ahead and play it. This is you and me. I'll play part of the clip at least. This is the lady that you got in a fight with, who was
she got in a fight with me. I didn't get in a fight with her.
Let's play the clip. I think we have this clip now, or part of the clip.
What this means for the presidential campaign?
No, I'm not worried because every single time President Trump goes on trial, he goes up in the polls another 10 points, right? So that's what we see consistently is that President Trump, every time he's subjected to
get out of the shot, lady.
Every single time he's subjected, we're allowed to be wherever we
You're
want.
supposed to be on the other side.
No, we're allowed.
You're supposed to be on the other side.
Get out of our face.
Go get the cops. Get lost.
Crazy.
I'll fuck it up for you. I will fuck it up for you because you're supposed to be on the other side.
Go get the cops.
Go on the other side.
Get the cops.
Go on the other side.
Get the hell out.
Go on the other side. You need to be over there.
How does it feel to have become the nation's most effective counter-lawfare operative? Practitioner,
Look,
excuse me.
It's important that we're here today to
fuck off.
Lady, get out of
You're
here.
supposed to be on the Do what? Do what? And what?
Do you
And
need to
what?
get your
Just show
And
what
what?
you're exactly all about. You're a
And what?
violent,
You're supposed to be on the other
disruptive-
side.
So
You're
go
supposed
get the
to
cops.
go on the other side.
Go get the cops.
Go on the other side.
Go get the cops.
Go on the other side.
No, get the cops.
You're supposed to be on the other side.
What authority do you have?
Because the police said that you're supposed to be on the other side.
Go get them and have
The
them
police
tell
said that
us
you're
what
supposed
to
to
do.
be on the
Go
other
get them.
side.
We can be
Go
wherever
get
we
them.
want.
The police said you're supposed to be on the other
We
side.
can be wherever we
Okay,
want.
so I can be
Go
wherever I
get the
want to.
police,
I can
lady.
interrupt as I want.
You can be wherever you want
Yeah.
to, but we're not in your face. We're not putting a flag.
You're the one who came over and disrupted.
You're
Go
supposed
get
to
the
be on the other
cops.
side.
We can be wherever we want.
You're supposed to be on the other side.
Why can't you let us speak like we're letting
Because
you
you're supposed to be on the other side.
Says
Get the
who?
cops.
That's the cops.
Go get them.
Get them. Go get the police.
I am the cop right now.
No, you're not the
I'm the
cop.
cop right
You are not the cop.
I'm the cop right
You
now.
are not a cop,
I'm the
lady.
cop right now.
Well, I guess
Get out
it's
of here,
proof
you
that
I'm
we
the
have
cop right
DEI
now.
hiring practices in
I'm the
America.
cop right
Look at how
now.
these people.
But again, look, like
Yeah.
the lady thinks, again what I'm talking about with these immigrants, right? I mean, look, we're being invaded, whether it's by immigrant judges who are trying to interfere in our elections or immigrants like this lady that can barely speak English who are saying that they're the cop and trying to segregate us. And, all the media, of course, was there. That was day one of the trial. We showed up, of course, the Donald Trump did nothing wrong shirts. So I don't know. It's out of control. I want to pull up this article as well so we can go through it because the guy that you confronted, Norm Eisen, he is one of the biggest political operatives for the Democrats. Let's get this article up that I put in the chat of the political operatives who are funding the lawfare against President Trump. Meet the leftist operatives funded by Soros who are targeting Trump in Colorado. Let's go to the other one. I had another article in the chat too, the second one. Let's see. Here we go. Exposing Norm Eisen. And this is from November 2023. This is how long we've been talking about this. And Melanie Sloan, the prolific Biden donors behind the effort to remove Trump from Colorado's ballot in 2024. Along with many other things too. So we can scroll down, right? We have this video too of Melanie Sloan, the executive director of Crew, admitting that George Soros is their biggest donor. So Norm Eisen has financial ties to Soros. I'm sure you've seen that clip. Scroll down. You can look at Sloan's campaign contribution. She's donated to Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Scroll down. Here we go. Norm Eisen, the other co-founder of Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, CREW, has also been a prolific donor to the Biden campaign for president. In 2020 alone, Eisen donated a total of $11,200 to Biden. See evidence of the donations below. And he has his employer listed as Brookings Institute. He's donated to Chuck Schumer, of course, another New York Democrat. So it's no surprise. You know, the New York Democrats are all in cahoots with each other with these trials. And Chuck Schumer has financial ties to Judge Merchan's daughter because he, of course, runs the Senate PAC for the Democrats. And Lauren Merchan has secured that contract, which means now that she has her tentacles in the contract for digital consulting for pretty much every Democrat Senate race this election season. You can also see, too, that Norm Eisen has donated to Obama. He's tied to Obama. We know that Joe Biden is campaigning with Obama. They're going to be in California with each other for a fundraiser in 2 weeks in June. So all these people are tied with each other. They're all Obama-era political operatives that are now resurfacing. And all of the evidence is here. Eisen donated a considerable amount of money to Barack Obama's campaign for president, a total of $34,250 in 2007 and 2018. You can see all the evidence of these contributions as well. Also tied to the elections in Georgia that were stolen, the Senate races there donated. So every single questionable election, every single form of questionable lawfare, political lawfare in this country as it relates to our elections and election integrity, you can guarantee that Norm Eisen is somehow connected to it.
Absolutely. He also went to Harvard Law School with Obama. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, I'm not surprised because you know who else all went to Harvard together at the same time? Michael Colangelo, okay? Michael Colangelo's wife, Alvin Bragg's wife, and Jonathan Soros. They were all in the same class together. Can you believe that? So what are the odds that all these people went to school with each other at the same time?
What are the odds that Alvin Bragg could get into any college, let alone Harvard? That's ridiculous.
Well, look, it's your typical DEI, right? Didn't earn it. So you got your DEI Shaniquas. You got Kamala Harris. You got Fani Willis. You have Letitia James, all graduates of Howard University. So look, we're just giving out diplomas and giving out awards to people, and that's what DEI stands for, Jason. It stands for didn't earn it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's interesting to see what's going to happen now, Laura, because the defense rested its case today. The jury has been released until after the long weekend, which a lot of people are criticizing. Normally, this is the type of thing that seems to be not so helpful to the defense because they've been really winning. I mean, Michael Cohen has been proven to be a liar. Now we've got all this opportunity for the jury to get polluted. Thief. They haven't been. He
stole from Trump.
Right.
I mean, the people now see that the prosecution, Alvin Bragg and the Democrats are literally willing to allow for Michael Cohen to get away with defrauding Trump and the Trump organization, a bigger crime than what they're accusing Donald Trump of doing, for the sake of getting Trump. So everybody's seeing what bullshit the New York criminal justice system is because they're letting somebody get away with theft. And they asked him multiple times, "Oh, do you steal from people often?" He says, "Yes." "Is this the first time you've ever stolen from somebody?" "No." "Did you lie to Congress?" "Yes." "Did you commit perjury?" "Yes." Todd Blanche, I believe, who was doing the cross-examination, who was giving a master class in how to cross-examine a criminal. So, just everybody watching this, even CNN's chief legal team and their correspondents were just sitting there flabbergasted, and they're like, "Oh God, this does not look good for the prosecution."
Laura and Jason, sorry, we're getting some interference on the stream. I think we're receiving an incoming broadcast.
Oh, we have. Wow, this is a surprise.
Charles
What's
Paul,
going on
can you
here?
hear us?
Look at this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. What's going on?
We're coming through. Happy birthday, Laura.
Happy birthday,
Oh, thank you so much. Wow, my team has ambushed me. I'm getting Loomer live on air.
Happy birthday.
Oh, wow.
Charlie, I think you can sing happy birthday.
Wow.
You.
Oh my God, Joey's here too. It's like a whole party.
Happy birthday.
Wow, I am so surprised.
Happy birthday to you.
Wow, all my friends are here. Wow. Oh my. Oh my God, that's so funny. That's hilarious. I love that. Wow. All right, I guess I gotta make a wish now. This is so nice. What am I gonna wish? All right. Yes. Yes, let's wish for a Trump victory. We have to wish for a Trump victory in 2024. We have to wish for an end to all these Trump trials. We have to wish for, an end to all of this like conflict in the world. And President Trump's going to get back in and end all these foreign conflicts. And then let's see what else. Yeah, restoration of justice in this country. Exactly. Thank you. Oh wow, this is so amazing. All my friends came over.
Let's address that for just a second, because that's an important comment. And by the way, thank you.
I actually genuinely am so surprised. I didn't know about any of this. Crazy. They kept the secret from me. They're so beautiful. Flowers and cake. So nice. Oh my God, John Guandolo's here too. This is so funny. It's a whole party. Oh my God, you guys totally punked me.
John looks like he's ready to do a song.
Are you gonna?
Hey, Laura.
Oh my God, he's willing to sing a song on.
I'm literally in the middle of band practice, so I got to go. But I got the invitation, and I said absolutely. I wanted to jump on and say happy birthday.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
And I wish you many more. And keep spreading freedom and liberty.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Have fun with band practice.
Thanks. See ya.
Yeah, John's a really good musician. Yeah. Oh, wow. We have. Speaking of that, John and I were actually in Israel together a couple years ago. We did this border security trip where we took a bunch of people to learn about the importance of border security. We were in Gaza. We were on all the different borders there, teaching people about the importance of building walls, right? Like by teaching them through Israel's walls, why we needed our own walls here in America. And John is so talented. He brought his guitar with him to Israel, and every single night he was out there. Like, I remember we were in this hotel in the Golan Heights, and he was playing his guitar really late at night, and everybody went to bed, and then there were all these rockets that went off in the Golan Heights. I mean, we actually almost had to go into the bunker. He's actually a very good guitar player. Wow, that's such a lovely surprise. Oh, we have Dr. Jeff Gunter here as well. Wow, look at this.
Hey, Laura, it's Jeff and Heather wishing you a happy birthday. There's no greater patriot or friend of President Trump, so God bless you. Hope it's a great day from Heather and Jeff.
That's so nice. How did you guys do all this? Wow. You guys must have really planned a surprise. That's amazing. So my team is really wonderful. I have an amazing team here. So that's great. That's Dr. Jeff Gunter. If you live in Nevada, be sure that you go out and you support Dr. Jeff Gunter for U.S. Senate on June 11th in the primary there. Paul, Charles, wow, you really got me.
Yeah, we got you. The fact that President Trump called you today to wish you happy birthday, that was huge. So,
I know, right?
We wanted to chime in, and you have a lot of fans, and just wish you a happy birthday because you deserve it, Laura, given everything that you've done for this whole movement.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I felt really bad because I was in an interview today, and there's these reporters who came down and they run a publication in Norway. And so they wanted to interview me, and I had my phone on silent. And I guess President Trump called me from the courthouse while he was on his lunch break. And I had a missed call. And so Then I ended up, I know, right? It was pretty cool. And so then I was like, oh man, I feel bad. I mean, that's not really somebody's phone call. You don't really want to miss the president's phone call. So luckily he called me when he was out of court as well and wished me a happy birthday. But it just goes to show you what a really nice man President Trump is. The fact that, the fact that he's in court being harassed, dealing with this nonsense, and he takes time out of his busy schedule to call his supporters. And he does this for a lot of people, I have a friend of mine who works for President Trump.
He's thinking about you today, Laura.
Yeah, he's just a really good guy. I have a friend of mine whose mother passed away recently, and she works for President Trump on his campaign. She had a funeral for her mother. And when she got to the funeral home, there was this giant bouquet of flowers there, like really massive, like a huge display of flowers. And the note was from President Trump and Melania Trump. So he does amazing things for people all the time. And, you would expect somebody like President Trump, who has to deal with bullshit every single day, to be occupied with his own life. But he really takes a lot of time to call his supporters. And it's pretty touching. So I was shocked today. I mean, I really wasn't expecting that. I was shocked that he, called me from the courthouse.
I super love this Laura Loomer, President Trump. I almost want like a Disney movie of like the princess and the president.
A Disney movie.
Have like, something like Laura at the White House on an adventure with Trump. But you said something really important earlier about one of the wishes for your birthday is many millions of more followers to Laura Loomer. And it's not, I want people to understand, at least when I'm thinking about that, it's not about just boosting a social media account. Every time Laura does a report about the judge's daughter, or I am lucky enough to run into Norm down there and have the presence of mind to ask him these prescient questions that really consolidate the essence of the case in a way that people can watch and understand.
Yeah.
It's important that this stuff gets out, because nobody working for these corporate funded media things where super millionaires like Soros and all these other guys control the companies that are controlling the ads on these things. The reason that sidewalk is blocked, and the reason they won't give me a press pass, and the reason they won't let me into the courtroom, is that they don't want Laura Loomer, they don't want Jason Goodman, they don't want Crowdsource the Truth or any
They don't
of this
want
stuff
they don't
getting the
want
truth
Charles
out.
Downs. They don't want Paul Ingrassia.
Right.
I mean, Charles.
Exactly.
Paul was there the day that Max Azzarello set himself on fire. Paul was there too on day one. And Paul, you were in the courtroom, right? I think you were reporting for Gateway Pundit. You've been in the courtroom with President Trump.
Yeah, I've been in the courtroom. I was there. I mean, I went down to D.C. today, actually, but the court's adjourned this week, thankfully. But yeah, I've been in the court or the overhead where the press is pretty much every day since the beginning of the trial. And I saw your guest yesterday. I thought he was actually harassing. I confused him for Weissman. I thought it was Andrew Weissman, not Norm Eisen, but they're the same person, basically.
That's on Tuesdays. I got to go after
He did an
Weissman.
excellent job with that.
Yeah, no, it's great. And of course, Paul is President Trump's favorite Substack writer. He shares every single one of Paul's Substacks.
They're excellently written.
Yeah. How's it been in court? Did President Trump see you there? Are you there in the mornings with him, or are you in another section?
I actually, when I'm in another section, but I saw him in New Jersey in the Wildwood rally, and I told him, I'm in the courthouse with you pretty much every day. And he said, "You're doing such great work, Paul. We're going to clear them all out." Those are the words he used. He said, "We're going to clear them all out. All these judges, all these DOJ, all these weaponized people who are weaponizing the justice system to execute lawfare against him and his opponents." So he seems undeterred by what's going on, and he was as confident and as resolute as ever. And that's just the type of guy he is, and you know that as well as anyone, Laura.
Yeah, no, and Charles knows it too. I mean, sadly, President Trump's not allowed to share our reports anymore until the trial's over because of the gag order. Yeah, like we're the reason why Trump got fined $9,000.
I know.
Like they literally made Trump pay $9,000 in fines because he shared my reports about the judge's daughter, and because he shared the video on day one of me and Andrew Giuliani on the Bullhorn talking about Michael Cohen and his lawyer, Andrew Lawfer. And so they're not allowed to share the reports anymore. So Everyone's like, oh,
Yeah.
Laura works for Trump. They think like this conspiracy theory in their mind. Trust me, Paul knows I don't work for President Trump because Paul and I are always calling each other, talking about like, oh, do you think like we're going to work in the Trump administration? And, you joke about a Disney movie, Jason. Paul and I are always like talking on the phone about like, what we would do if we worked for Trump. So we don't work for President Trump, but yeah, no, he's not allowed to talk about.
We don't.
He's not allowed to share the reports
it's
anymore
the same
because of the
case,
gag
Laura,
order.
with my Substack, my articles that I've been writing about this trial. He hasn't shared a lot of them, I think, because of the gag order. And we're just looking forward to this trial being over soon, and hopefully for an acquittal. But I think the public, and the fact that you have Anderson Cooper on CNN saying that he would vote to acquit Trump if he were on the jury, I think says everything. I mean, Mershon had a whole meltdown on the stand yesterday. The likes of which no one has ever seen like before. I mean, this was incredible to see him lash out at Robert Costello, the witness, the key witness there. And he was screaming, telling him to get out of the courtroom at one point. So, he really got rattled by what was going on. And the whole trial's a show trial, a kangaroo court. It's a disaster what's going on. But I think President Trump's been vindicated in the court of public opinion. And hopefully these jurors, at least, hopefully we're hoping for one fairly reasonable juror to result in a hung jury and get this case over with.
Wow. Well, Paul and Charles, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. That's so nice of you. I'm so surprised and touched by this. So we played your video earlier, Charles, of you confronting Cory Booker. So that was great as well. Good job.
Oh, that was really fun. It was a fantastic day. All they do is run and lie. That's their thing.
Yeah, he wouldn't even answer you.
They never do. We're going after every single Democrat that took money from Lauren Mershon and every single senator who hasn't endorsed Trump. So we have a really long list of people to Loomer. The issue is these people never show up for work. So we have more people to Loomer than days they actually show up to work. So every night, Charles and I like try to plan a schedule, and we're like, all right, who are we going to go get tomorrow? But they don't show up for work. These people just don't work. So it's really hard to find them. You have to be really on top of it because nobody wants to work.
You're sort of joking, but it's true. I mean,
no, I'm not joking. I'm serious. They literally just are not. They don't show up for work. It's true. I wish I was joking.
They don't even show up to your hearing.
They don't even show up for work. And sometimes you're like, okay, this person's on this committee and they have a vote today. And then Charles will be like, hey, I showed up and they didn't show up to vote. So I wish I was joking, but a lot of these members of Congress and the Senate, they just don't do anything.
Right. Well, that's half the reason why they're indicting Trump, because they made them work. He made them work for the first time ever.
That's true. I think that's very true. I agree with you, Paul. That's a great assessment right there.
Well, it's really great
Laura,
that everyone here on this panel is working to defend our republic, uphold justice, and this is what we have to do. So I want to thank each of you, and Laura, thank you for inviting me on tonight on this special birthday show.
Yeah, of course. And, thank you for having the courage to confront Norm Eisen and keep up the great work. I know that you've been going to the trial every day, so hopefully you confront more people. Maybe you'll get Rachel Maddow next time, too, or get some of these get some of the members of the media, Jason. But thank you for...
They're sealed in that protected area.
Yeah. But thank you, Jason, for coming on. Where do people follow you if they want to watch your videos, if they want to subscribe to your show, if they want to follow you and crowdsource the truth?
On X, you can find me at JG, like Jason Goodman, _CSTT, like Crowdsource the Truth. And people can also go to odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. Lots of videos there.
Awesome. Great. Well, let's see if we reached our goal. Let's see if the video has reached 1 million views. Let's see.
Let's take a look.
I reposted it. The goal was to have it.
It did. 1 million, Laura. Thank you.
Wow, we did
so that's just over 24 hours to 1 million. That's definitely my most viral thing ever.
The goal was to get the video to 1 million views while Jason was on the show, and we did it. We made it happen.
Wonderful. Thank you, Laura.
Great.
Look at that 1M. Norm can't take it.
Can't take it, man. He's got to take the L. Great. Well, Jason.
Happy birthday, Laura. It's wonderful to see you.
Great seeing you as well. And, have a great night, Jason.
Happy birthday, Laura.
You too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, happy birthday, Laura.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, Thank you so much, Paul, and thank you so much, Charles. And where do people follow both of you? Because you've been doing great work as well, exposing all these political operatives.
Oh, go ahead, Paul.
I'm Paul Ingracia on Twitter/X, and my Substack is paulingracia.substack.com.
Awesome. And Charles?
Give me a follow at the Charles Downs on Twitter and X. So,
and then also on
Loomer.
Loomer.
Tomorrow morning can be very fun.
Yeah, and then on Loomer.
Yes.
So make sure you can follow Charles on X and True Social at the Charles Downs, and then you can read all of his reports on my website, loomered.com, and you can find all of his reports. Yeah, we have some people that are going to be getting Loomered tomorrow, right? Tomorrow morning, Charles?
Probably. More than likely.
More than likely, absolutely.
Don't want to jinx it, though.
Yeah, we don't want to jinx
Actually,
it.
nah, I'm good. We'll get them.
We'll get them.
Fine.
All righty. Well, thank you so much to both of you for coming on. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you, Laura. Enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to eat this cake. Thank you. Talk to you guys soon.
Enjoy that cake.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Well, that was a really lovely surprise. I have really great team members. I have a wonderful group of friends, as you can see. I was totally shocked and surprised. That was so nice. Wow. I can't believe I just got Loomered on air.
It's Loomer time.
It's Loomer time. They really surprised me.
You don't want to be Loomered.
Flash, yep. Flash Hustler said, happy birthday, Laura. We love you and all your hard work, fighting the left, routing the rhinos, and being loyal to MAGA and Trump 2024. Thank you for the $131 donation. Will3301, just adding some more hype, $20. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's see. We'll read a couple more comments, and then I have all my friends here. They just surprised me. That's so nice. And we got to go eat this cake. Let's see. Yeah, I have great friends. They're so lovely, aren't they? It is the best timeline. Somebody said this is the best timeline. It's great. Let's see. Scroll up a few more comments, and then they said that was ballsy. Love the fact that Laura's crew is just like her. Of course. It's got to keep up. Let's see. Scroll up. Thank you for all the happy birthday messages. Let's see. Scroll up some more. Laura, you need to interview Costello. Yeah, we'll see. I'll try to get him on the show. And on Thursday, just so you guys know, we're going to have Corey Lewandowski, who, of course, was the former campaign manager for President Trump's campaign in 2016. So be sure that you tune in to Loomer Unleashed this Thursday. It's going to be live again, 8 p.m. Eastern on Rumble. And with that, again, thank you so much to everybody that, came out and watched my show tonight. Thank you so much to Carrie Lake and Jason Goodman and Charles and John and Paul and Gracia for coming on. That was such a lovely surprise. And also, thank you so much to my amazing team here at Loomer Unleashed for planning this surprise party for me. It's really great, and I'm really honored that, I have my voice back being a contributor and also like one of the free speech exclusive contributors and content creators on Rumble. I'm really grateful for Rumble and the opportunity they've given me. And I'm just grateful for everything that's happening this year. It's going to be a great year. I'm really excited. I'm really hopeful for what this next year is going to bring. And with that, be sure that you're following me on X, True Social, Gab, and Getter at Laura Loomer. Again, you can go to rumble.com/Laura Loomer and subscribe. Make sure you download the Rumble app and click Get Loomered so you sign up for my locals, loomer.locals.com. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 48 of Loomer Unleashed. I will see you this Thursday again for another episode. Thanks so much and have a great night.
There is a young female journalist, conservative journalist, by the name of Laura Loomer.
If America's men acted like Laura Loomer, our problems would be fixed in about 5 minutes.
Chained herself to
She
Twitter.
chained herself.